Hi there, and today I thought I'd show you a quick video on how I created this card. This card's winging its way in the post tomorrow for my nephew's birthday, and I thought I'd go with dinosaurs because that's always a fun thing for the boys, and he's going to be about 6 or 7 I think, so this is always good fun for children of that age. But I thought I'd go ahead and show you how I made this card. I know a lot of you have fed back going, oh, you don't need to show us how to do the simple things so that we already know how to do. We'd like you to focus on maybe the things that are a bit more difficult. So I'm going to go through the basic parts of the card quite easily, but I thought I would show you how I did this sentiment, because this is actually a stacked sentiment like so. Here we are. I'm trying to show it to you, you can't see it. Let's find the stamp set. Here we are. It's from the No Bones About It stamp set, and it's this sentiment here. So all 3 lines are stacked on top of each other, but I wanted my sentiment in a long line across this banner on the card, so I want to show you how I did that, just in case you're not sure how to get from a stacked sentiment to a single line sentiment. So let's go ahead and make this. So I've started out with a Wild Wasabi card base. It's half a sheet of A4, cut in half down the long side and then scored through the middle to give me a landscape card with the fold at the top. And I've already gone ahead, I've taken the 3 leaves from the No Bones About It stamp set. This is a 1 stamp set card, I love those. So this one, and this sort of ferny one. I've mounted them all on the block together, and then with Wild Wasabi ink I've just created a random leaf pattern all over my base card, just to give that a little bit of interest. So that's all ready to go. I've then cut myself a piece of white card. This is the thick Whisper White because I just love using it. It's about 10 centimeters by 7 centimeters, which is just under 4 inches by about 2 3/4 inches for my American friends. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp my dinosaur onto here, and I'll do that quite quickly because as I said, you know how to do the basic ones. So I've gone for the Diplodocus or Diplodocus, however you pronounce it these days. I'm going to pop him on there. This is pumpkin pie ink. Okay. And then I'll do his skeleton body over the top with black. So let me see if I can get this lined up fairly well. Not bad. Not too bad. And then finally I'm going to pop the little party hat on, just in case we didn't already know it was a birthday card. We're going to make sure that everybody knows it's a birthday card. Let's go ahead and give him a little party hat in Tempting Turquoise. So now that's all ready to go, we can deal with that long sentiment that I wanted to show you. I'm going to start out with a whole piece of card, and I can get the bottom on if I slide it underneath my makeshift video stand. I've moved my video system over onto my regular working desk, which is why you can see a whole load more stuff around me. But I thought it'd be fun, and it gives me more space to show everything for you. I've gone ahead, I've inked up my stamp, sentiment stamp as a whole with some black ink, and I've stamped it onto the imaging sheet of my Stamp-A-Majig. Now I don't use this very often, I must admit. I'm a bit of an eyeball it type of lady, and hope for the best, but there are certain situations when it is absolutely imperative, and I would say that this is one of them. So having gone ahead and inked up the whole sentiment and got it onto the imaging sheet, I've then cleaned the stamp completely. I'm going to use a marker pen. This is a basic black one, which I think you can buy singly. If you don't have them, you could cover the bit of the stamp that you don't want and then use an ink pad to ink up the bit that you do. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to carefully ink up the birthday. Now I'm going to do it as best as I can. My No Bones About It stamp set is not particularly deep etched in the photopolymer. and it can be a little bit tricky to work with. So I want the whole of the length of the bit of card, and I'm going to start in the middle and then I'll trim it down to size later, but I don't want to be worrying about positioning in terms of left and right at the minute. I'm just looking to get it lined up along the bottom. So I've got birthday focused lined up along the bottom where I want it, and then with birthday inked up, I'll go ahead and stamp that down. Now the crucial thing now is to clean your stamp really well. Now right your wringer, I'm going to use my thumb and a bit of spit and I'm going to clean it like that. And the reason I've done it like that is actually because my stamp cleaners are filthy. I've obviously used them with red ink or something, and where I've cleaned lots of stamps and haven't washed them, actually they're still making my stamps dirty. So you need to make sure you wash those. You can take the pads out and wash them in some soapy water in the sink, and then give them a good rinse to get rid of all the soapy bubbles, and then leave them to dry. It's always fun to do it and watch the water turn a funny, usually reddy pink colour, I find in my case. So this time I'm just focusing on the word dinorific, and I'm lining that up, leaving the same border with the bottom of the edge of the piece of card, lining it up with the birthday, looking to make a sentence from it. And then when I'm happy with that, give my stamp a bit of a huff. I'm going to go ahead. That's rubbish, but that's partly because of my stamp, not because of the technique, because I've managed to get ink in between the words, because as I say, my stamp's not very deeply etched. And lastly, we'll do the have a. Lining it up so that your sentence is all in a nice neat line. You can go ahead and stamp that down as well. So here I've got my completed sentiment. Let me see if I can get it on the screen, albeit sideways. So now I have it all in a single line. So now I'm happy with that. I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this off with my paper trimmer. Not sure how well this is now on the screen, but basically I'm just popping the sentiment inside my trimmer. I'm going to cut a thin bit off, thin strip off. There we go. Okay, and now we can finish the card off basically. Now one of the fun things I added, and it came by way of a mistake, as you can see I've got this extra bit of banner thing sticking out here, and it looks like just a bit of fun added interest, doesn't it? But what actually happened was I trimmed the banner too close to the end of the sentiment. But do you know what? Great ideas can come out of happy mistakes. See, that's what happens if you use your thumb and your finger to clean your stamps, okay? So I found this old banner punch in my drawer. I think this is now retired, so any banner punch would do, or you could just use a pair of paper snips. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to snip a banner end into that end, and if I turn this around and feed it back in, she says, hopefully, I'll cut another banner end into there. Now I have an extra bit that I can just stick onto the back of here. So line it all up. This sentiment came out a bit rough and ready, but you know what? For a card for a young boy with dinosaurs on it, actually, I think the feeling kind of goes quite nicely. So I don't see it being a problem. Now I just want to assemble all my pieces together, really. So let's find a load of Stampin' Dimensionals out of the tub. Have I got some started somewhere? Yeah, here's a sheet. Here we are. It's looking a bit tired and sad, isn't it? To stick the sentiment down, I've actually cut some of that border off. Don't waste all those edges. Make sure you use them up. I've popped that on the back of there, like so. Whip the back off. Let's use the, have grids, we'll use them. Let's use those to line this up on here. Like so, yeah, like that. And then ahead, you can see I've stamped something else on the back of this bit of card. I'm just going to trim that up just a little bit off the edge, like so. I pre-prepared the raw means you're awesome in dinosaur and cut a little banner into that. That's black on turquoise as well. I'm going to put my dimensionals near to the bottom of the banners because the top hangs off the top of the card. I'm going to go ahead and position that on there. And then finally some more dimensionals on the back of my dinosaur panel. And now I can stick this onto my base card. So line it up, make sure I'm getting it nice and straight. And there we go. Fun dinosaur birthday cards for young boys, older boys, even dinosaur loving men in your life. I don't know if you've got any of those. But the primary focus here was how you can turn a stacked sentiment into a long line sentiment. And maybe you've got sentiments in your stamp collection that you've avoided using on any particular card design because it was stacked and you needed a sentiment that was in a long line. And there's just a fun technique that you can use to turn your stacked sentiments into sentiments. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed today's card, and come back soon for more cards, boxes, techniques and other fun on the blog soon. Bye for now.